another 1897 video. We're going to do a little unboxing here. Spyderco Native, one of the first ones. Damn, haven't used that for years and it's sharp. New tubular magazine. Oh, I was looking for it someplace. And an original Winchester butt plate. Trying not to get it too bright, but as you can see, that is a clear tube. And I will show you the contrast on the replacement here, which seems to be two tubes welded together with a gap in it, causing a disruption in the proper flow of the shotgun shells. This little assembly up here, the assembly with the takedown pin, is a little bit complicated, and I think it was sort of one of the puzzles John Moses Browning left us. So I just thought I would show everybody how I remove it and hopefully save somebody some trouble and let them know what kind of things they might need to have around. Alright, so just a standard takedown. Disengage the magazine. And hear that the magazine's now been disengaged. Now that the magazine's disengaged, just a quick turn. Be mindful of the threading. Pull it out gently. Quick wipe of the threading. We'll give it an oiling, making sure that there's no grit that can deteriorate the threads. Of all the threading, I've only got one that's got a little bit of a ding into it. Every other piece is just rock solid, and I'd like to keep it that way. So the business end can be put away for the rest of this project. If you notice, the threading on this corresponds to the same threading here. This one's just a little stronger and a little newer. This is from a model 12 Winchester. This is from a model 1897, obviously. They're interchangeable. You can see the difference in the metal too. This one's got a blue, and the bluing's held up nicely. Of course, it's more recent than this one here, but you can notice that the bluing didn't hold, and it's almost like it's a chrome. So the metallurgy is certainly different. So the front end, the barrel and the magazine and the pump action have been removed from the 1897. Now I'm going to remove this mount here. And a little bowl to keep all our little parts in. The barrel portion can be put aside. Here you can see the Frankenbeast of a magazine that I had, and the reason that I need to exchange it for this one here. So you can see the length difference between the modified one and the unmodified one. This basically is a selector, and it allows the firearm or the magazine to be released so it can rotate either into the correct position for locking or the correct position for unlocking the magazine or the threading. It's got an interesting little pin inside of it. Right here there's a spring. You need to press that spring while pulling this out in order to release that spring. We'll give that a try right now. I've got a very small screwdriver, and I hope we can catch this on video. What I did was I just pressed the spring by putting the small screwdriver against the spring, squeezing it, and it popped right out to expose the hook, the dreaded hook that is really difficult to get set and put back in the first time you're doing it if you don't know what type of spring that you're dealing with. Now, 2 sets of screws, as I said, one smaller than the other. Contents are under pressure. Okay, now the spring will come out. And this is the end of the tube, and it's kind of the brains behind the takedown assembly. It's just a machined piece of steel with a pivot, and it's got a limited range. As you can see, I had this pinned because, well, I'll show you in a minute. As you can see, the follower gets stuck in the middle. Lovely. Anyway, I don't know how well the video is showing it, but you can see a dark line in the middle of the tube, and that's actually a gap where the weld and the coupler holding the 2 pieces together is. And unfortunately, that sort of acts as a catcher or a ventura or whatever, a closing point, so that the follower can't feed another round, causing this thing lots of trouble. Alright, reconstruction. I guess we should see and make sure the follower fits. Oh, that's music to my ears. You probably can put that in later though. I'm not sure what this is. It was on the original, and it's going back on this one, and it's going back in the same configuration. I do believe it helps with the pump. Just to note, there's a little hook here on this ring, and on the corresponding piece you can see where it rotates in through. Just a really cool piece of engineering. And that's what lets you pivot the cylinder or the tubular magazine and engage and disengage the threads. Alright, so what I've done is I put the threaded part that secures the pump action here, and then I've run down the barrel clamp and put it here as well. I've got the follower in, and now the spring, and now, since this is such a tight fit, it's very close. Both pieces are oiled. I'm going to try a little bit of force. If I can find my mallet while I'm in front of the camera. So got it lined up. Probably going to hit my fingers. I can just see what happens when I'm going to pull this out and then boing. Oh, I even got it to line up nicely. Excellent. I'm going to put the screws in. This isn't moving very easily, so I will have to make some adjustments. But after I get the first screw in, then I know I'm not going to have the spring come flying out. It's just not lining up perfectly, and I don't want to mess with the threading. Now you can see I've got full play in that rotating piece. Now I'll be trying to line up the threads just perfect. They're off ever so slightly. And I can use the takedown pin kind of as a lever. It's very stout. them in. So I'm not sure if I'm dealing with slightly different specs from the Model 12, which looks to be 70s, 60s, 70s, versus the original tubular magazine, if it is even the original tubular magazine from the 40s. It could be a difference in the actual specs being just a little tighter on this one, or it could just be the number of times somebody's tried to patch this thing up and just normal wear and tear. But anyway, the key of it was to get that running smoothly, and it is. That screw needs to get in a little more flush, so I think I need to adjust it a wee bit, as with this one. Now, putting this pin in is a whole lot easier than taking it out. Basically, you just have to suppress it a little bit. Pardon me. By pressing that down and then just pretty much just locking it in place. And that's straightforward and can be done just using a pair of your thumb and a pocket tool. Oh, this is tight. I may have to actually pull that back out and bore it out a bit. Or do this about 50 times. Oh, it'll be fine. Again, a little bit of oil, a little break in. That one's working just right. It's going out nicely. That one just needs to be able to go down a little bit further. Yep. There we go. Not quite. That will come with a little bit of time and just a little bit of wear. So that should be fully functional. Now it'll be time to put the barrel and the pump part back on. If you recall, this spring does go with the tube. And there we have it. Barrel. Cocking arm and the barrel have to go through around the same spot or around the same time. Alright. So as you can see, I have the barrel mount and the action through. Now it's matched up. Now I have witness marks on the barrel from having a magazine on it for so many years, or this clamp on it for so many years. So I'm very confident in where it's being put back. I'm just going to do a little tighten on here and use a bit better screwdriver for the finished job afterwards. So when this is all the way over to the side, you can see the threading is pointing up, and when it's all the way this way, it will be locking in to the receiver. And now the tubular magazine can't go up or down, it's just locked in. Now if I want to release it, twist it that way and pull it out of the firearm, and then disengage the threading on the barrel. So that's it for the assembly. Let's actually try it on the shotgun itself. Good sound. Oh, beautiful. Now it's locked in. Alright, we'll do a quick function check in a minute. Have to get it unlocked. But as you can see, tubular magazine's locked in. Little difference in the bluing, but I think we can live with that. We'll do a quick change of this butt plate off air and we'll see how she works.